Now this is actually part two to my review of the movie Old. So you have so you had all the kids being aging now. Now what happens next is eventually the one of the other scenes that happens later on is the mother of the son and the daughter. And so the kids now kind of live in the old bodies now, but really the immature 6-year-olds or whatever age they had before the sudden unwanted growth spurt. The mother's tumor actually grows to a size of what is they say is a grapefruit or cantaloupe, so they have to actually surgically remove this thing because it ends up knocking her unconscious and have her body go into complete shock. So you have so she ends up going on shock, and they try to put some alcohol into her, and surgically, clean their hands because the guy who's found out to be the plastic surgeon is the guy that's the racist of mid-sized sedan. So good. I love Hitler in my operation. So boy. But when the guy has his knife there, because he doesn't have a scalpel, he forgot all his surgical equipment back home. Only has his pocket knife there, so he's cutting into the woman's side. Uh, but the cut quickly closes because she is aging and healing. This result has a effect on even cutting someone, where the cut will just completely heal, like nothing happened. So he's cutting in. He tries cutting in. He tells everyone to put their hands in her stomach. So he can remove the tumor. So eventually they cut it out, and this whole scene is done while the woman's awake. So that's what the scene is. Now, it's really the perspective, I guess. If you're the woman, you're awake. She's awake. That's the perspective of it. You can still see the scenes of it. Alcohol. It's probably not like a hospital strength anesthesia. So they end up taking out the tumor, and her the incision there heals up well and completely. And the mother's fine. She wakes up and you know doesn't act a bit shocked, but is very relieved. Oh my gosh, it's gone. It feels so good. Oh boy. No, but through this whole thing, the doctor is actually going through memory issues. He's also going through stress-related issues that will play back, that will go to the key plot there later on. But then there was this scene that they find out that the girlfriend of mid-sized sedan, whole entire body that they've covered with a cloth there. Actually, in the very early scene, there's a bunch of belongings of stuff that's been just dumped and covered in sand and rusted of, uh, a bunch of the resort owners. Now they find rusty old knives and stuff, and the son finds a journal of a guy who's a science fiction author who died. Now you find a bunch of electronic stuff. So hey, if they just felt free for free MacBook or whatever, they could obviously take that. Take it and run if they could get off the island. Free MacBook, a free iPad. No, don't do that. So MacBooks are not even worth it to steal. They're kind of expensive and a joke by how genius was react to you and treat their customers. Uh, yeah. That's a little scene that's forgot to put into the video that will tie into the plot though. So the next scene is the racist uh, plastic surgeon there from I don't know, Portugal or Spain or whatever it is, decides to take his knife and slice the side of mid-sized sedan's face and attack him. It's like, oh my gosh, you just attacked me. And they find out eventually, and this is before the taking out of the tumor there of the mother of the son and daughter in the movie. they eventually find out as he's holding his teeth, like, oh my gosh, you've cut me there, you've sliced open my face with your knife, you assaulted me, like, bleep bleep bleep, no, yo dollar sign, yo dollar sign, yo dollar sign, Paulson. And he takes away his hand and he realizes, your cut is healed. Like, what? And mid-sized sounds like, what? Oh, okay, go on. Yeah, but no, this just makes the soldier like just even more fearful of this guy or whatever because of his mental state that's found out what he is later on in the movie. But another scene that happens later on in the movie is that the daughter is eventually becomes pregnant because the daughter of the woman with the calcium deficiency eventually becomes pregnant. And she ends up, because they made out in one of the little camping tents or whatever on the beach. And she becomes pregnant. So they have to, so she's freaking out and stuff. And mom's trying to give the, advice to being a muzzle and the son and stuff. And the son's just acting as, like the intelligent guy that he is. I swear, he would have probably been a good father. And he's so worried about his kid, his kid's safety and stuff. Like, he acts like literally not like someone just on the spectrum, but very intelligent, very mature for his age, but still acting like a kid. But very intelligent, like he's worried about his kid that he's about to have. His goal is about to have that he got pregnant and had the romance emotions because they eventually went through the puberty stages without knowing what the heck they're doing. Kind of like all people in puberty. Oh boy, the teenagers. Do I want to go back to? No way. Okay, back to the story. So they eventually have the daughter, the calcium deficiency mother, who's the mother is like pretty much pissed, angry. For obvious reasons, you knocked up my daughter. You're paying child support, you're doing this, that, and the other. Everything's going insane, like this island is like in the real world. Like everything in the world is gonna be taken. Everyone's gonna get off alive, the son's gonna be paying child support or whatever, like, yeah. Uh, Even though this movie is considered a horror movie, it's kind of more of a joke of a horror movie. But no, that's why it's a PG-13 one. So they end up, so the son ends up, the daughter ends up giving birth, but as this scene comes back, they always go through these 360-degree turns. When they get back, the child's dead. So eventually, after the kid's body has turned into ashes because it's been aging so much in the mother's stomach as she was aging quickly on this island, it dies and its body turns into ash. It turns into skeleton. The skeleton decomposes into ash, and they eventually give the baby, a good memorial service and the grieving and stuff. And yeah, they eventually, in one of the scenes, after the plastic soldiers try to attack mid-sized sedan, they end up having him left off this side. They confiscate his knife, because they noticed, this guy is, not right. He's gonna probably attack us. Maybe it's the stress of this island and what's happening to us. It's having an effect on him too, some way. Mentally though. He's off, just wandering around, being kept an eye on. And there's a scene where he's literally rips off one of the ribs of mid-sized sedan's girlfriend. He's talking to himself. He's tapping his head with his mid-sized sedan's girlfriend's wonderful ribbed corpse. I have a good feeling if he's already pissed off mid-sized sedan and treat him like shit and attacked him, I think that's a really dumb choice of his to go messing with his girlfriend, ribs of a corpse. And yeah, you're asking for it. But he's talking to himself, and this is leading up to a scene that's really gonna go cray cray now. But all the other adults have aged also. The father of the son and daughter has gotten wrinkles. The mother of the calcium deficient woman has passed away. I guess old age or whatever though. And then you end up with another scene where the calcium deficient mother's daughter tries to get on to climb up the cliff. But they all notice that when they get to a certain point on the water, they end up, blocking out and being dragged back to the beach. They tried that even walking right through the cavern there that led to this beach, and they instantly just feel dizzy and they black out. So the daughter, and they just wake up, because this happened to Mid-Sized Sedan, this happened to a lot of the other guys though, on this beach. It's like this magnetic, field or whatever that just mucks with your brain and you black out and you find out you've been carried onto the beach. But they notice also on this beach there's like these lights the son notices of it has the sibling there. That's his sister, his older sister, actually, of the mother and father that are about to get divorced. And they were planning to tell the kids after the resort there, after they got back from the resort there, that they were getting a divorce. But the son notices these lights that they notice looks like like cameras or something's watching them. Like they being kept watch, because they notice that this area doesn't have living fish. Birds don't fly over it. Living things don't want to come near this area. Like they know it's bad. Like alone, you said humans. Yeah, we're so evolved. Great. But yeah, the daughter of the calcium deficient woman decides trying to climb up the cliff to get over this thing, to save everyone, to get some help. She ends up falling off the cliff and dying. Uh, Eventually, also, the calcium deficient woman ends up with a hunchback because of her calcium deficiency, bones breaking, and she's hiding, has a little sarong, covering her head because she's so afraid and ashamed of her ugliness, because she's a once beautiful, hot, sexy, swimsuit Instagram model, just perfect, a complete 10 for all you thirsty guys out there. A complete 10. Yeah, she ends up getting a hunchback, like Quasimodo, and she ends up trying to run into this cave or whatever, and she tries to kill herself by dropping a large rock on her, but ends up on her shoulder, and she's just contorted to something that, other YouTubers use the word like exorcist. Now, maybe not the best example there, but literally it's just a knot in her dysfunctioned, broken bones there, as she's just completely, suddenly just breaking all bones and then dying. Which is found out by the son and daughter there, who are trying to find help and trying to get out of this island. Yeah, eventually the surgeon also, the plastic surgeon, one of the scenes of this film, does kill and stab to death Mid-Sized Dan. This is actually the scene where the surgeon will lose his knife, his pocket knife there, taken away from him, and him kept on constant surveillance, and tries to desecrate Mid-Sized Sedan's girlfriend's corpse by taking one of her ribs and tapping himself on his head, talking to himself. So, I'm going to let off on this and say, like, share this video, leave a comment, visit me on Facebook, subscribe to my channel, donate to my Patreon, and hopefully my subscribe star is available. Donate to that too. Peace, bye, and we'll continue with part 3 of this series. Oh boy!